Namaskar, Namaste. Thank you, Ramon, for this invitation. Ramon has been a brother for maybe 15 years. I've known him. Last time I was with him at the Kirtan Marathon. And as all of you know, he does fantastic work with Renaissance artists and writers. And this is, I'm sure, going to be another great event of his. But he asked me, he made a request, which I was a little bit uncomfortable with. He asked me, Amar, I want you to talk about planetary happenings, planetary shifts, the environment, and geopolitics, because those are all three topics of which I have good enough knowledge, because I've worked with those topics. I still work with those topics. But they're sad topics because we're living a very dark period right now. Okay, so I said to him, Ramon, ¿tú estás seguro? I said in Spanish. Porque yo me pongo muy bravo, yo tengo mucha raiva cuando yo doy palestra. I'll translate. Ramon, are you sure? Because I'm always mad and I have a lot of rage when I give my lectures, you know, and it transmits. So why break the harmony of such a beautiful event? Why talk about the dark things that we're passing? There's so much light in Rawa and in his music and in all the kirtans. It's just wonderful chant. And so he answered to me. He said, mi hermano, with an angelical voice that he has. He's very evolved, and with angelical voice, he says, mi hermano, sí, habla. Después cerramos con kirtan. Brother, yes, speak. And then we will close with kirtan. Well, he almost had me convinced, because kirtan is a great equalizer. My experience has been that, and it has a lot of power, and he has a lot of power with his kirtans and everybody that performs with him. And I don't know how to say no. I'm like I'm like a kid in a sandbox by himself, just wanting people to come and play with. So I don't know how to say no. So I didn't say no to him. I just stayed a little bit worried about it. And then a couple days after, I guess, I sent him an audio, or we spoke by phone, and I expressed to him my discomfort with the situation. And I said, brother, I mean, what can I talk about in such a wonderful, blissful venue? I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about the environment, about natural catastrophes, about pole shifts, about coronavirus, end of capitalism, the electromagnetic eruptions, solar flares, asteroids, tsunamis, mass migration, even the possibility of World War III. And because of the economic situation, the Great Reset. So, but he continued, and with an angelical voice, he said, hermano, tú tú vas a hablar y todo va a salir bien. So I laughed it off and I said, I got to do this. I got to figure something out. And it can't be negative, because it doesn't have to be negative also. It's just that I've been accustomed. We're reaching a period of light, I believe. I think we've been living in darkness for the last 40 years, maybe 50 years since I was a child. And you'll learn about that with what I want to talk about later on in the lecture. But I was trying to figure it out. And then something wonderful happened. And a series of wonderful things just started falling in place. And one of them was right before I was going to pick up the phone and tell Ramon that I didn't want to do this. A sister, a wonderful sister, Vicashini, she called me from Europe, and she tells me about this event that there's going to be in Australia. The last events, that group, that huge group, had like 1 million people doing collective meditation, and that's going to be the day after Rawa, because she knows about Rawa also. She's part of the Ananda Marga organization. So it was like a godsend at Godspeed. So she sent me a letter that they had sent her, and that just moved my whole my whole attitude on if I should lecture or not. And I didn't want to say no to a great brother like Ramon. So if you allow me, let me read really quick. I'm going to try to read it as quick as possible because we can send this to you after. Okay? It was a divine message, and that message came in the form of that letter. And it's about a subject that I have zero expertise in. I want to make that perfectly clear. Or even about anything that I have ever believed in. However, so much correlates with this event, with these times, that even with the teachings of Sakar, in some ways, I want to point out that Vikashini's partner is also a scientist, a very stable and renowned one. His specialty is in energy, and some of his life work has been in how that applies, to universal forces, as in Kundalini, portals, and vortexes. He also worked with Dr. Emoto, the famous water crystal scientist that proved intent. I actually met Emoto personally, but in no way did he ever impress me as much as Dr. Dan Winters. I would like to take just a couple minutes to share with you and ask you to please don't listen to this letter with the same prejudice that I confess I did myself. The information in it, the timing, gave me so much hope that I thought it important towards the end of my talk. I believe that most will agree why. We will be doing our Age of Aquarius final activation meditation at the exact moment of Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on December 21st. The letter title is titled Activation for the Start of the Age of Aquarius on Tuesday, signed Love Noah. Well, I love Noah. I love that signature. There will be a conjunction with the Worldwide Harmonic Convergence centered at Uluru, Australia. The final activation. It will be an extremely powerful flash of cosmic love. I love that. We are now at the threshold of the new age that's been long awaited and prophesied to be the golden age of our civilization. Well, Sakar also said that there would be a golden age after these times. So things started to correlate and fall in place after this letter and other things that happened after. The way to collectively activate this energy vortex on a larger scale is by motivating greater number of people to participate in a synchronized mass meditation at the exact time all over the world in order to create a powerful high vibrational energy grid that will envelope our planet. There are certain individuals who have already stepped into and are experiencing the benefits of this new reality. They are already living in a sort of vibrational bubble where they mostly function on higher vibrations and experience life as if they don't even live on the same planet, with unfortunately still the majority of people who suffer greatly in these trying times. Our wish for you is to acknowledge this discrepancy and hopefully soon become one of those individuals to experience a blissful reality of your own. Please forward this information to everyone in your sphere of influence to quickly spread the word far and wide around the globe. The more people that participate in this meditation, the quicker that humanity and our planet will ensure a peaceful, healthy, and abundant future. We have achieved over 1 million meditators simultaneously participating in a global meditation before. And if we all unite now, we can do it again. This will help the ascension process be positive, harmonious, and peaceful for the planet, humanity, and especially for those of you who are holding light for the planet. The great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on December 21st is the first great conjunction in Aquarius since 1405. And it is happening exactly on the day of the winter solstice. This is the moment when the first long-awaited energies of the age of Aquarius will finally begin flowing in. It is the closest great conjunction since 1623. Jupiter and Saturn will be so close together that you almost see them as a single star. In the eyepiece of a telescope, you will be able to see both planets very close together. Their many moons almost apparently touching. The year 2020 is a turning point of our times. It was a 50-year transition period. But this year, 2020, we are shifting the timeline, redirecting the flow of the river, and when the river flows in different direction, this, as a consequence, will trigger a mass awakening in its own time. When we eventually look back at that period, we will find ourselves dividing the times between life before 2020 and life after 2020. Extremely powerful flash of cosmic love will reach our planet and begin a long-awaited age. Massive influx of angelic light energies will be experienced, and people who are sensitive to energies will be able to connect with them. We are making a conscious free will choice that we want to start experiencing the age of Aquarius, because deep down we all know that we were born to experience the blessings of this golden age. We are now manifesting more positive timeline, while the old timelines are dying away, which makes this such a chaotic time to live. But the more light we anchor, the more light we hold, the smoother the transition will be. And our meditations can make this transition much smoother than it would be otherwise. Will be new avenues of abundance available to humanity. The process of healing the emotional body is taking place at the same time. Emotional bodies have been wounded dramatically, especially in the last 2 decades. And now, as the cosmic energies begin to enter planet Earth, many healing energies will come, especially angelic beings will start to contact human race again. They will start to contact human beings and heal them. One of the most important aspects of emotional healing is to invoke healing angels to assist in the healing process. The end result of that, as we can already see, is a big transformation of human society that is happening right now. A new consciousness is being born among the masses. Before, it was just a small percentage of humanity. I remember this from the hippie days, 55 years ago. That was aware humanity that was aware of what was going on. I'm sorry about the cuts, but because I'm just highlighting this letter. But now this is becoming common knowledge. The hippies knew. On June 30th, 2020, the first spark which starts the fire. So then it follows with instructions for meditation, which I'm not going to, I just highlighted some. Use your own technique, state your intent, invoke the violet flame from its primary source to place a circle of protection. Ask it to transmute anything that does not serve the light. Visualize a pillar of brilliant white light. Ensure a peaceful, healthy, and abundant future. Visualize this light transmuting all remaining darkness on earth, healing all inequalities, erasing all poverty, and bringing abundance to all humanity. Now, in a little bit, I will start to talk about my past experiences since I was a child and why this correlates so much. But for now, I will pass on Dan Winters, which is a participant, will participate and is inviting everyone from Rawa to participate in this starting tomorrow. And his site, so you can see how it's unbelievable. He is a scientist, and he's not a mad scientist. He's a very evolved and full of spirituality, and he uses that in his experiences and his experiments. I've done experiments with him, and we can talk about that in the question and answer. But if you would like to talk, or you would like to see some of Dr. Dan Winters' work, go to fractalfield.com. He has a special link here for their Solstice Global Meditation, okay? But if you go fractalfield.com, fractalfield.com, you're going to see some fantastic, unbelievable, more unbelievable than Dr. Emoto's intent, crystal, snowflake experiments, for which he became so famous for. You're going to see some incredible, outstanding scientific and spiritual work that this man, who I now consider a friend, does. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating. So I'll continue telling the rest of the story in about 5 minutes. I'm going to rest for about 5 minutes. Drink some water. I ask you guys to do the same. But come back, because believe me, this isn't anything that was in my belief, but after you're going to understand how everything, after Ramon's phone call, everything, coincidences and things just started to fall in place. And hopefully we're going to come out, and I'm going to come out with a positive message, a message of hope, and a message of spiritual victory for all of us. Okay? Thank you. I'll be back in a little bit.